Okay, so obviously, I'm not gonna lie, this story has a lot to comprehend because I gotta admit, it was one of the most scariest moments of my life, but at the same time, one of the most enjoyable. Like, I don't know how to explain it. If you guys saw from the title, yes, it's like a win-lose scenario, I should say. But at this moment, we're not gonna think about it. All I'm gonna say is thank you guys so much for all the support on the main channel and the shorts channel. Like, you guys have been seriously showing so much love to these channels, and you guys have been showing so much enthusiasm for these stories. And I just want to say, for all those people questioning, oh, are these stories real? Like, you're so fake. Oh my goodness, how can you lie to your whole fan base? One, you guys are my family, and I seriously love you guys for everything you guys have done. And two, these stories aren't fake, and eventually I will prove it to you. And if you guys have any serious questions that you guys need to ask me or interrogate me, go follow my Twitch, because seriously, that's where I mostly live stream and talk to you guys about all these amazing things that happen to me, and exclusive, basically IRL talking of me showing my face telling you guys these stories. But anyways, without further ado, let's get straight into this. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to another crazy story. So today's actually one of the most insane stories that I actually didn't want to tell at first, but luckily I got permission from the girl who I actually did it with at this time to tell this story. So shout out to you. If you're watching this, this is for you, I guess. So basically, I remember back when I was in high school, this was like my grade 11th year, and I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't the coolest kid. Like I said, like I hit puberty at this time, and I was an average male, and I, knew how to do the devil's tango. But like, the thing is about me was that I only did it with like almost everybody, because like I said, you guys are always asking like, oh, how do you do it with so many women? And when you put your standards below 0, you could do really anything. But I remember one time there was this really hot girl in my PE class, and she was so fit. Like, I don't know what it is about volleyball players, but holy cow, do they got a peach. Sorry, anyways, like I was saying though. So I remember this one time in PE class, me and her started talking because we were playing dodgeball. We were both out, and we were both like up against the wall and basically just talking. And she was telling me about like, how life is and stuff, and how things do, and how she basically hates all of her courses and stuff. And me being me, obviously I just agreed and acted like the cool kid that I wanted to be at the time, and basically agreed on everything with her. And I don't know what it is, but guys, if you guys ever want to like get with a chick or understand a chick or be anything near a chick, let them talk, because the more they get to talk, the more like, you get to learn about them. And at the same time, being a good listener, I think is 80% of, being a good guy, I guess. I don't know. It's better than the advice my friend gave me back when I was a kid, and that was woman detected, opinion rejected. Yeah, that's not a thing. But anyways, like I was saying though, so I remember she was talking to me, and she was just basically saying all this stuff about her life, and me, I was kind of flirting with her and kind of getting along with it, to the point where after class, she handed me her Snapchat. So she handed me her Snapchat, and bippity boppity boo, we started talking for a long time. Woohoo! That kind of rhymed. Wow, I am really good at this now. Sorry. Anyways, like I was saying though, so she gave me her Snapchat. I remember when I went home and I was playing Call of Duty with the boys, she kept snapping me. It got to the point where I got the notification a lot, to where actually the boys found out that I was snapping a chick, but they didn't know which one. And nor did they care to ask, because obviously what happens on Xbox stays on Xbox. If you guys are Xbox players back then, shout out to you guys. Me too. So yeah, we were just talking and basically discussing how like, she was hot, I was hot, she's attractive, I was attractive, the basic high school talk that you usually do to another woman per se. And I remember one time specifically, she was like explaining to me how like, she's like really like freaky and stuff, and she started to bring up words like BDSM and stuff like that. And I'm gonna be honest, at the time I actually did not know what that meant, but me finding out what that meant goes along with the story, so you guys are really in for a treat here. So I remember the next day at PE, we were doing the same thing, dodgeball, because let's just say when we run our track fast enough or run around the field fast enough, we get to do whatever activity we want. And we chose dodgeball, obviously, because I don't know, I guess kids like throwing balls at other kids. That sounded really bad, but you know what, never mind. Anyways, yeah, so that ended up happening. We just started talking again, because obviously we were both out, and we both didn't care for dodgeball at the time. And she kept telling me like, oh, like I forgot my hair tie, like do you want to come with me to go get it? Now obviously me, I was like, yeah, sure, because me being the nice guy I was like, ah, she's hot, like, might as well. So we ended up walking to like where like, the change rooms were, and this is where things start getting juicy. That sounded so bad. Jesus, I really said that, didn't I? Anyways, so basically we walked over to the change rooms, and like obviously everyone was in PE class, so the change rooms were empty. So I remember I walked in there with her, because she said like, oh, like come in, like no one's in here anyway. So we walked in the girls change room. That was the first time I actually entered the girls change room, funny enough. Actually no, it wasn't. My first time was actually my first day of high school. If you guys didn't see that video, go check it out. Seriously, that was a funny one. But no, basically I remember I walked into the change room with her, and we were basically discussing, like how like there were showers in the girls change room, which there was in the boys too, but I acted, fascinated, because I didn't know what to say at the moment. And she was telling me about like, like whose locker is whose, and basically giving me all the smack talk about the girls change room, because apparently there's a lot of smack talk that happens in the girls change room. I have no idea why. Like us boys, we just end up wrestling and throwing our shirts around, but I guess girls, they actually like full on talk smack about other girls in the same room. I don't know, it's weird. But yeah, so we ended up talking, and And then we ended up sitting down as she's tying her hair up. And then she makes this freaky move, or she says something freaky like, oh, like I like it when like my hair's pulled back. And that's when I knew it's about to go down. So I remember what ended up happening was that we ended up like, you know, making out as I started pulling her hair, and bippity boppity boo, we ended up doing the devil's tango. Woohoo! Dude, that's like a thing I should start doing now. I could seriously rhyme this whole storyline. Just kidding. I'm not actually gonna rhyme it. But anyways, like I was saying though, so we do the devil's tango, and that goes on for like almost the rest of gym class. And let's just say me and her weren't keeping track of time because we were just going all over the place with this thing. Like the girls' change room didn't smell that bad because girls' deodorant smells fantastic, surprisingly, compared to guys, because Axe body spray does not pull it anymore. But yeah, we were just going all around this change room. She's up against walls, I'm up against walls, bippity boppity boo. And then after that, the saddest thing happened. So as we were like about to finish up, let's just say, one of the girls, and I mean one of the most innocent Asian exchange students, like I don't know what part of Asia she came from, so I'm saying Asian exchange student. I am not racist, by the way. She ended up walking into the change room, and she saw me and her going at it, and she gave out the most craziest scream. She started screaming for her life. Like I swear it was like a movie of Stab. Like it was the most craziest thing in the world. And once that happened, let's just say more girls started coming in, and a lot of them saw me and her. And I remember like I threw my hoodie at her, and she put on my hoodie. I threw on my flannel that I had at the moment. I pulled up my gym shorts, and I ran out of that place. Like I'm not joking. I ran through like a horde of girls, and it was a lot of girls to run through. And obviously they all saw my face, and they all saw what was going on, and it absolutely sucked. I want to say the next class went by, and everyone knew what happened. That was like in my previous class, and they kept walking up to me like, yo bro, like did you actually do it in the girls change room? Let's go, and start dabbing me up, which I was just purely embarrassed because that was really embarrassing for me. And I remember the girl snapped me saying like, OMG, like we can never do that again, but next time let's just do it at your place. So it was not like a never situation. It was just never in the change room again. And I agreed, obviously, because I'm never gonna risk it again. But at the end of the day, you know, long story short, it was pretty insane. And you know, that's the point of these stories, to relate to my experiences and to make sure you guys don't do any dumb experiences, because let's just say it's not worth it. Anyways, guys, that is basically it for this story. Make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe. Seriously, I love each and every single one of you guys. You guys have been showing so much support, like I said in the beginning of this video. But on top of that, make sure you guys do follow my Twitch and follow me on all social platforms, because seriously, get the updates of when these videos go out so you can never miss a glorious story time again. And also join the Discord server. Come hang out with me and talk to me. Seriously, I love when you guys talk to me and actually discuss things with me. And comment down below your favorite stories so far about me. And like I always say, fall for more embarrassing stories. I remember being bricked for like 80% of the school day, to the point where I ended up going inside the school locker room after school to basically see if I have enough time to beat my eggplant. But then out of nowhere, I remember my middle school crush, for some reason, decides to walk into the guy's change room, and she saw me with my eggplant out and said, Bubba, what are you doing? Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to a super embarrassing story. So today's story all takes place back when I was in high school, and this was my grade 9 year. Now in grade 9, I was just getting into becoming a player, and honestly, I started learning the ways of how to pull girls and getting better at it. It even got to the point where I ended up watching YouTube tutorials on how to pull girls, and yeah, even though that's cringe, don't get me wrong, it did help me out a lot. Because I remember there was a day where I ended up going into school in my grade 9 year, and as I walked inside my school, I remember there was a girl that I was speaking to that was my crush. Now me, I always tried playing it nonchalant and like really cool with my middle school crush to not make it seem like I was desperate, because I remember in the video that I watched, you know, teach me how to pull girls, it said to be, you know, not desperate. So I remember specifically with my middle school crush, I would always like try to like pretend there was like a convenience or a coincidence that me and her ended up bumping into each other. Like for example, when I knew she was gonna go into the cafeteria to go eat lunch, I would be there already coincidentally, or technically on purpose, but I would make it seem like a coincidence so that she would run into me and say some words to me in exchange. I know it sounds really creepy and really weird saying it like that, but you gotta understand, every time me and her would have a conversation, I didn't make it seem like I was following her, nor did she ever think I was. And no, I wasn't technically following her, I just knew her schedule better than she did. Wow, I'm really sounding like the guy from the show You. That is really concerning, but you guys get the point, okay? Me and her would have these random moments where we would bump into each other throughout the school day, and I remember it finally got to a point where after school, she ended up bumping into me once again, except this time, it was definitely by accident. And knowing this, I ended up actually giving a shock, and I looked at her and I was like, oh, like I didn't expect to see you here at all. Yeah, we seem to be bumping into each other a lot, eh? Yeah, we do bump into each other a lot. That's kind of weird, to be honest. Yeah, maybe it's like the universe telling us something. Maybe. I don't know. Well, like here, give me your phone. I remember I passed her my phone and she ends up putting her number and ended up adding herself on my Snapchat. And well, honestly, I call that a mission success. But then things got really weird afterwards, because I remember when I went home that day, I didn't know if I should message her because I still wanted to be that cool, nonchalant dreadhead kind of vibe. So I decided not to message her right away. But then afterwards, when it was like towards the nighttime, I remember she ended up sending me a message. And this text message she sent me was the "you up" message that I think every guy dreams of a girl saying to them. And like me, I've gotten to the point where I'm kind of getting sick of it because, well, I don't know, I have a lot of things going on in my life. But back then in grade 9, getting that text message was a life changer, because I remember when she sent that, I wasn't sure if I should reply. So I remember I'm just staring at this message, totally confused on what I should say back. And it got to the point where I just kept staring at it till I passed out. I ended up falling asleep, and the next morning when I woke up, my phone died on the same page of her text messages. I felt really bad because I definitely should have responded with something. Like, at the time, you gotta understand, ChatGPT wasn't a thing to help me out. So knowing that I totally just egoed this girl, I felt really bad, but at the same time, it was whatever. I ended up getting ready, going to school that day, and when I got there, I remember I went from totally trying to like run into this girl to now totally ignoring this girl. No joke, I would try to make sure that I wouldn't run into her, and since I knew her schedule pretty well, it was pretty easy to do that. Except the weird part was that after lunch, I ended up bumping into her randomly in the school hallway. No joke, I guess I was walking backwards as I was talking to my friend, and I bumped into her. And I remember when I bumped into her, she looks at me and says, "Oh, hey, are you good, Bubba?" Yeah, what's up? "Oh, nothing. Like, I don't know, like you didn't respond to me last night." "Oh, okay, cool." And I ended up walking away. I said, "Okay, cool," to a girl that just wanted a reason why I didn't respond to her. Honestly, I didn't know if I totally blew all my chances. I think with the average chick, 100%, I would have blew all my chances of pulling this girl. But honestly, what ends up happening next, I gotta say, was insane. Because I remember after that totally awkward conversation, I ended up going into my next class. And when I did, I remember I got a text message, except this time it was a photo that this girl sent me. I was really confused on what photo she sent. I thought it was maybe like a picture of me or something. But when I opened the photo that she sent me, I realized it was a photo of her cherries. And at that moment, I was like, wait, what? I was so confused when I was looking at this photo, and even the person behind me was confused on why I was staring at a photo. And he even looked up at me and said, "Yo, Bubba, pull her, bro. Go do your thing, bro." At that moment, I ended up closing my phone right away and putting it in my pocket. Like, thanks for the words of encouragement, buddy, but that's kind of weird that we're staring at the same girl's cherries. And I remember I ended up totally just ignoring her and not responding to that photo because I was in class. I remember I kept going on class to class, and basically the school day ended. And I remember when after school came around, I was bricked out of my mind because my mind could not stop thinking about that photo, and it was really getting to me, to the point where honestly, I didn't think I wanted to get on the bus totally bricked after school that day. So what I decided to do was I went to the boys' change room, the guys' change room, by the way, and I decided that it would be the most private place for me to whip out my eggplant, and I was about to start beating my eggplant until, well, the most weirdest thing happened. Because I remember I ended up hearing the door open, and as I was quickly trying to pull up my pants, I remember I ended up seeing the same girl look at me, and she says, "Bubba, what are you doing in here?" Hey, funny to run into you," as I'm standing there with my eggplant totally hanging out like a weirdo. And this girl was definitely 100% confused on what was going on, to the point where she says to me, "Bubba, I'm just so confused. First we bump into each other and the universe is telling us to like get together, but then you ignore me the same night, and on top of that, you told me cool and didn't respond to me after I sent you a spicy photo. Like, are you good, Bubba? Are you gay or something?" At that moment, I didn't know what to say, and I'm pulling up my pants and I'm like apologizing because I wanted to play it cool. I ended up confessing to her how I was trying to be nonchalant, and yeah, she didn't really like that, to the point where she said to me, "Bubba, here, let's go to my place." I remember me and her, we ended up walking over to her house since she lived nearby the school, and we did the Devil's Tango. Honestly, I guess that was a sign from the universe to next time just respond to the girl when she says "you up" right away, because I don't think any girl wants to wait on a "you up" text. But if you guys don't believe at all that this story was real whatsoever, then follow for more embarrassing stories just like this one. Peace out, guys.